His arms are sleeved with tattoos, some faded, some new, all scars in ink. Across the country, June sits up in a women's sober living home in Arizona. Her face is soft, still carrying the strength of someone who's wrestled herself back from the edge. Her arms are marked too, but her eyes are bright, holding on to hope like a fragile bird. They each reach for their phones. A message lights up their screens at the same time. Morning sunshine. Day 123. Still sober. Still yours. Red heart hash. They both smile. The kind of smile that knows pain but chooses joy anyway. A quiet beat of gratitude. But behind the smiles, there's weight. Longing. Tiredness. The cost of staying clean isn't just sweat or cravings, it's the space between two people trying to rebuild themselves, apart. In the silence that follows, we drift backward, not in time, but in memory. Rehab walls, beige and echoing. Folding chairs in a circle. Eyes that avoid each other until pain forces them to meet. Eli sitting beside June, both of them crying during someone else's share. Stolen glances. One coffee. Then two. A hand over another on a cafeteria tray. Laughter, cautious but real. They found each other when they were both at their worst. They found reasons to fight when everything inside screamed to quit. They whispered promises beneath a dying garden tree out back. She left early, new program, new city. Before she boarded the plane, she said, "We'll keep in touch. I'm not done with you yet." And now, every day, they text. Every few nights, a video call. Some calls are filled with laughter, memories, dreams. Others are mostly silence, heavy and honest. Eli cracks jokes during her panic attacks. June sends voice notes when his voice shakes. It's not romantic in the fairy tale sense, it's raw, grimy, real. The kind of love you earn. One night, Eli walks home from his shift at a greasy diner. He's tired. His boss yelled. A man leans against the wall near the back alley, offers him something, a tiny foil wrap, subtle like poison. Eli looks at it. His hands sweat. He remembers the cold tiles of a bathroom, his body convulsing. He sees June's face, how she whispered stay during one of his darkest nights. He swallows hard. Walks away. But he walks slower. Miles away, June tries on her only business shirt. She's got an interview. The buttons are stiff. Her hands shake. She can't breathe. She tears it off, drops to the floor. Old thoughts creep in like shadows. You're not ready. You're not clean enough on the inside. You don't belong out there. She calls Eli. Doesn't say anything at first. Just breathes. He doesn't try to fix it. Just breathes with her. Then he says, "You don't have to prove anything. You're already more than enough." There's a group meeting the next day. June speaks. "I used to think recovery was about becoming someone new. But maybe it's about remembering who I was before I got lost." Across the country, Eli speaks in his group. "She believes in me more than I do. Some days, I stay clean just to live up to the version of me she sees." The calendar moves forward. Day 140. Then day 150. On day 160, they fight. He admits he had a breakdown and didn't tell her. She finds out through a mutual friend. Her voice cracks through the phone. "You promised honesty. I didn't want to scare you. I'm not fragile, Eli. We worry together or not at all." The call ends. The silence this time is different. Stinging. Cold. Eli talks to his mom for the first time in months. She tells him he needs to stop trying to earn love and just let himself receive it. You don't need to be perfect for her to stay. What if I screw it all up? Then she'll help you pick it back up if you let her. June writes a letter. "I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm just asking you to stay in the fight. I don't need the man who's got it all together. I need the one who whispered to me when I couldn't stop shaking. I'll wait. Even if it hurts. Even from miles away." Eli reads the letter over and over. One morning, he speaks to his group again. "I want to be the kind of man who's worth the wait. She thinks I am. So I'm going to try." June gets the job. She makes coffee with shaky hands but steady breath. She smiles at customers. Tells jokes. Starts writing poems again. She doesn't feel perfect. She feels present. And for the first time in years, that's enough. Then one night, her phone rings. Unknown number. She almost doesn't answer. A nurse's voice on the other end. He's okay. He had a seizure. Exhaustion. No substances in his system. He just pushed himself too hard. She books a ticket that night. When she arrives at the hospital, he's asleep. The window is cracked. Soft air. Machines beeping like tired lullabies. She walks in. Stands at the door. Her eyes well up. He stirs. Turns. Sees her. You came. You sent a letter. She pulls it out of her pocket. I thought it was time I returned it. They don't kiss. They don't cry. They just sit. Fingers brushing. A week later, they walk by a lake near the rehab they once met at. The sun dips low. The wind moves like a song with no words. He skips a stone. It bounces. She claps. I'm still scared, he says. So am I, she answers. But we're here. Yeah, we are. They sit under the tree. Their tree. The one from the garden at night. Now reborn beside a different lake. He pulls something from his pocket, 2 soba chips. Hers and his. He places them side by side in the dirt, like seeds. No music swells. No dramatic kiss. Just 2 souls breathing. Choosing. Staying. A bench nearby has words carved into it. Faint, but still visible. Day 213. Still choosing each other. Still breathing. Still here. Eli washes his hands at the diner sink, the echo of June's voice still lingering. You're stronger than the high. The crumpled packet still floats in the trash, almost glowing under the fluorescent light. He doesn't look back. He dries his hands, stares at himself in the mirror for a moment, and whispers, not today. At the same moment, June stands outside the coffee shop in Arizona. Her hands tremble as she reaches for the door. She can see her reflection in the glass, her past and her potential, standing face to face. She takes a deep breath, pushes the door open. Later, she leans against the break room wall. She just made it through her first shift. She sends Eli a photo, her in an apron, smiling with whipped cream on her cheek. Eli opens the photo while on his 10-minute break and lets out a soft laugh. The kind of laugh that only escapes when you feel hope quietly sneaking in. The next night, Eli comes home to find his roommate high on the couch. The guy slurs something about how rehab doesn't work. Eli doesn't argue. He just heads to his room. But he doesn't sleep. Instead, he texts June. Some nights it feels like I'm walking on broken glass just to make it to morning. She replies, instantly. Then I'll be your shoes, Eli. I'll help you walk until the ground softens. A week passes. They fall asleep on video calls, sharing stories in the dark. He tells her about a raccoon that keeps breaking into the diner dumpster. She tells him about a customer who tips her with bad poetry. They laugh. And somewhere in the space between their cities, laughter becomes a bridge. But things start to shift. Eli's manager starts cutting his hours. June's coffee shop goes under review after a bad inspection. Pressure builds. Old demons whisper. One night, Eli gets a message from an old contact. One hit. No strings. You deserve a break. He doesn't respond. But his thumb hovers over the keyboard for a long time. He calls June instead. It's 2 a.m. She answers, her face barely lit by the phone glow. She doesn't say hello. Just, you didn't use. You called me instead. That's a win, baby. He doesn't speak. But a tear rolls down his cheek. They spend the night on the call, half asleep, half listening. In the background of June's screen, there's a painting she made. It's messy, wild colors, but in the center, there's a tiny boat. Floating. Still afloat in a storm. The next morning, Eli opens his notebook. Bites. Even a boat with holes can still float, if it keeps moving. Later that week, June stands in line for her 90-day coin. She's nervous, shaking, heart pounding. They call her name. She walks up. Her group claps, but she doesn't hear them. She only hears one thing. The sound of Eli's voice in her ear from last night saying, "Every breath you take is proof you're winning." She sends him a picture of her holding the coin. No caption. He replies with a video of him at the same lake they talked about. He holds up a second coin. Day 90. Still clean. Still yours. Come find me. She books the ticket that night. The journey is long. She takes a worn bus across desert highways, through cold cities. She keeps the coin in her hand the whole way like a talisman. When she steps off the final stop, he's already there, standing awkwardly in a thrift store coat and holding a cardboard sign that says, "For June." Finally. She runs. Not like in movies, no slow motion. Just desperate raw. She throws herself into his arms. They stand there for what feels like forever. Later they sit at the lake's edge. Not saying much. The sky is heavy with sunset. They exchange coins like wedding rings. No vows, just glances. And tears. He lays his head on her shoulder. "I almost didn't make it," he murmurs. "But you did," she replies. "And now I'm here. We're both here." They lean into each other. The kind of quiet that feels like church. And behind them, etched faintly on the bench. Still breathing. Still loving. Still here. She tries again, but this time her hand jerks and knocks the compact off the sink. Shatters. Her breath quickens. Heart races. Panic takes over. She grips the counter. Hyperventilating. And, crack. Her fist slams into the mirror. Not hard enough to shatter it, but enough to spider it. She stumbles back, clutching her hand, but the real pain is inside. She dials Eli. Doesn't even think. He answers immediately, still in his apron, standing behind the diner. Grease stains, smoke in the air. "I hate this," she whispers. "I hate all of this. I'm not ready. I'm not enough for this world." He doesn't jump in with a solution. He doesn't interrupt. He just breathes with her. Then quietly, "You are enough. You're more than enough. I'm proud of you even on days when you don't like yourself. Especially on those days." Her breath slows. Just a little. She doesn't say thank you. She doesn't need to. Her silence says don't hang up. So he doesn't. That night, they both attend their own recovery meetings, separate rooms, same hour. June sits among folding chairs and worn carpet. Her hand is wrapped, makeup free, but her voice is steady when she speaks. "There's this man," she says softly. "And he sees me the way I've always wanted to see myself. Not broken. Not a project. Just capable of being loved." Across the country, Eli sits in his circle. Few new faces. One old-timer nods when Eli begins to speak. "She reminds me what's worth living for. Not escaping. Not hiding. Just showing up. She doesn't need me to be perfect. Just real." And that changed everything. Both rooms erupt in quiet applause, the kind that says we see you. The kind that doesn't shout but stays. The next day, Eli leaves work and finds a package outside his door. No name on it. Inside, a hand-painted postcard. Boat. On calm water. His favorite kind of scene. On the back. "Even storms pass. Float with me anyway. J." He pins it to the wall above his bed. Stares at it like it's a lighthouse. Meanwhile, June starts her first day at the shelter's front desk. She wears no makeup, but she wears something else. Calm. Not perfection, just peace. She checks someone in. Smiles at a scared girl who looks like her from a year ago. "You okay?" the girl asks her nervously. "Getting there," June replies. "One honest day at a time." And that night she gets a text from Eli. "You saved me today and you didn't even know it. Still clean. Still yours." She presses her phone to her heart. Not because of the words, but because of how they feel. Solid. Steady. Boom. Outside the night is quiet. But inside two hearts miles apart, something unshakable is growing, not perfect. Not smooth, just real. And real is what stays. I trusted you, she says, low and trembling. I trusted you with my truth, with my worst days. And you didn't even tell me you almost used. Eli, pacing outside behind the diner in the cold, runs a hand through his hair. His breath fogs. His voice is strained but defensive. I didn't want you to worry. Her voice cracks. That's not how this works, Eli. We worry together or not at all. Silence. Not the kind that asks for forgiveness, the kind that hurts more than words. He ends the call. No goodbye. Eli stands there, phone still to his ear even though the line is dead. The cold creeps into his chest. He's too used to losing people. But this one feels different. This one feels earned. He doesn't sleep that night. The next morning, he visits his mother. She hasn't seen him since he got clean. Her apartment smells like cinnamon and old grief. She pours him tea without asking. They sit in silence for a while. Then she says, without looking at him, "She loves you, Eli." He laughs bitterly. "She doesn't even like me right now." That's not the same thing. He looks away. It won't last. Never does. I mess things up. She reaches over, places her hand on his. You don't love yourself yet. His eyes glass over. What if I never do? Her thumb brushes his knuckles gently. Then let her show you how. He breaks. A tear escapes before he can stop it. He doesn't sob. Just lets it fall finally without shame. Across the country, June walks into her group meeting but doesn't speak. She sits, quiet, arms folded. But she's there, still showing up. Even angry, even hurt, she's still here. That night, she opens her sketchbook. She hasn't touched it in weeks. But now she draws a man and a woman standing in separate storms. Rain pouring down. But above them, a single umbrella being held by both hands. She snaps a picture of the sketch. Sends it to him. No words. A minute passes. Then 3. He replies. I'm sorry. I'm scared too. But I never stopped loving you even when I didn't love myself. She stares at the message for a long time. Then types. We fix this together. Or we don't fix it at all. And somewhere in the dark, not healed, not whole, but human, they take one more breath for each other. A cup of untouched tea steams beside her. She pulls a folded notebook from her bag and begins to write with deliberate care. Her voice comes in like a whisper, layered over shots of her writing. I don't need a perfect man. I just need the one who held my hand when I shook through withdrawal. The one who sang that terrible off-key lullaby when I couldn't sleep. I miss you, Eli. But I'll wait. Even from miles away. She draws a small sketch at the bottom of the page. 2 trees growing toward each other, across a canyon. She folds the letter carefully and slips it into an envelope, sealing it with a kiss she doesn't realize she's given. The next day, Eli sits in a folding chair under harsh fluorescent lights, a styrofoam cup of weak coffee in hand. A small group of recovering men and women circle around him. Someone just finished sharing. It's quiet. Heavy. Eli clears his throat. All eyes turn. I used to think I had to stay clean for someone else. For June. For my mom. For the people I hurt, he begins, voice low, unsure. But I get it now. I'm not clean for her. I'm clean because she taught me how to want to live. She taught me what it looks like to love someone, not to save them, but to see them. He looks at the floor, collecting his breath. She believes in me. Some days, that's the only thing that gets me to breathe. And I want to keep being the man she believes I can be. Not perfect. Just here. Honest. Breathing. The room is quiet. Then a ripple of applause, not loud but genuine. Someone nods. Someone else wipes their eyes. Later that night, Eli walks home with the cold biting at his neck. He finds a letter in the mailbox. No return address, but he knows the handwriting like it's part of his own skin. He reads it on the porch, under the flickering bulb. The voiceover returns hers, soft but unwavering as he reads her words again. She wrote, Even when I doubt everything, I don't doubt you. And if you're still out there, still breathing, still trying, I'll be waiting at the lake. You remember the one. He folds the letter with shaking hands, holds it to his chest. The night feels warmer. He doesn't go inside. Instead, he sits on the porch steps and watches the sky. Then, slowly, he takes out his phone and opens a travel booking site. He doesn't have much money, but it doesn't matter. It's time to go find her. Music plays from a tiny Bluetooth speaker, and someone singing off-key but full of joy. June laughs harder than she has in months, her cheeks pink with sugar and celebration. In the middle of it all, she pulls her clean date coin from her pocket. 90 days. She runs her thumb over it, slowly. The noise of the room fades for a moment as she stares at it. I'm ready, she says, almost to herself. For love. And life. The girls cheer around her, not hearing her words but sensing something big has shifted in her spirit. That same night, Eli stuffs a wrinkled button-up shirt into a bag. He doesn't have a suitcase, just a backpack he's had since before rehab. Inside it, he folds a small, cheap bouquet of gas station flowers, daisies and roses, bruised from the ride but still bright. He sits on a long, bumpy bus ride. The desert flies by through dirty windows. He clutches June's letter the whole way like a compass. Sometimes he rereads it. Sometimes he just closes his eyes and pictures her voice saying those words. When the bus finally pulls into Phoenix, the sun is low, gold, and harsh. He steps off, disoriented by the heat and the weight of what he's about to do. He walks 3 blocks to her sober living house. His palms are sweaty, but he knocks. Inside, June is still smiling from the celebration when she hears the knock. She opens the door, thinking it's a delivery or a neighbor. Then she freezes. Eli stands there, breathing hard, dust on his shoes, his bouquet half crushed in his hand, and her folded letter held out like it's sacred. He doesn't say much. Just, thought I'd return this in person. For a second, she doesn't move. Then suddenly she's in his arms. They hold each other like they're afraid the world might break again if they let go too soon. Her head is buried in his chest. His eyes are closed tight. He breathes her in like oxygen. No music. No dramatic soundtrack. Just a quiet exhale, relief, reunion, redemption. Later that night, they sit on the steps of the sober house. No one else is awake. They share a melted cupcake between them, taking small bites, smiling. He leans his head against hers. Is this real? He asks. June smiles. It is now. And for the first time in their chaotic, tangled journey, the night feels still, not because the world stopped spinning, but because they finally stopped running. Eli looks out at the reflection of the sky on the water, then turns to her. We made it, he says, like he doesn't quite believe it yet. June squeezes his hand. Not all the way. He nods, smiling, but far enough to keep going. She leans her head on his shoulder. Neither of them has to say the rest. They know the road is still long, but they're walking it together now. And that changes everything. Eli picks up a small stone and skips it. 4 perfect bounces. She claps, laughing. He hands her one. She tries, flings it too high, and it plops. They both laugh harder. They don't talk about the past. They don't talk about what comes next. For the first time, the present is enough. As the sun fades into dusk, they just sit there, quiet and safe, as if the lake is holding them both steady. Later that night, the lights in their little shared apartment are dim. The room is small, but it's filled with warmth. A second-hand lamp, a sketch from June on the wall, a photo of them beside the lake printed and taped above the desk. They lie on the bed, fully clothed, no tension, no expectation. Just closeness. June rests her head on his chest, her fingers absent-mindedly drawing circles on his sleeve. Eli's heartbeat is steady. They don't need words. The camera slowly moves to the nightstand beside them. 2 clean date coins lie side by side. Worn. Scratched. Loved. Proof of everything they've survived. And a quiet promise of everything still to come. The frame holds for just a moment longer soft light. Stillness. Breath.